Start streaming. I have no way of knowing if I'm actually live or not. A bit of a flaw in the system. If you are there, good evening. I'll be with you in a moment. I just need to find out that I'm actually streaming. I don't get any feedback on the software. So, yeah, might need to find out a way to see this. YouTube live control panel. And I'm not logged in. Sounds about right. There's absolutely nothing here for me to look at.
I love Monday.com.
What's Monday.com?
You don't know Monday.com?
And now I'm watching ads. I'm showing someone else's ads. Oh, I'm live. I am live. Okay. I bought my own stream. There we go. All good. Let me just find out how to get chat and then I am with you. Apologies for the delay. How do I get chat? Docs, stats, chat. Chat. There we go. All good. Good evening, folks. How are you? Finally there. Apologies. It's been a while since I've streamed. It's well before Christmas and so much has happened since then. It's been so busy. It's really good to be back and I'm hoping to make it a much more regular occurrence. Yeah, so since I last streamed, we launched a subscription model on Zune. We had a big revamp that took so much energy and oxygen out of the room. So it's just, yeah, it took a lot of the bandwidth that we had, me in particular. So content has been down, launches through Zune were down, obviously live streams in this case are down, but I'm finally through the other side of it, and this week there's 4 short form videos in production, live streams, some of the best products we've ever launched. Yeah, it's all go again. For those of you who missed it, I'm going to show the video just so you can see what we've been working on, because it was a huge project and we put a lot of effort into it. So I want to show it off before we jump into the 2025.1 preview tonight. So here's the video that we launched with Zune, showing off our new token system and subscription model.
We're excited to introduce Units, our token system and subscription model that widens your access to the high-quality KeyShot resources you know and trust. With our new subscription option, you can save up to 90% on our resources. Simply choose from one of our 4 individual and team plans and we'll deposit units into your account each month. And with our annual option, you can budget once and save even more. Not only can you save big, through subscribing, you can also get access to exclusive resources and priority live chat support. We're also adding top-up packs so you can purchase units whenever you want. So if one of your projects is particularly visualization heavy, or your client has to see the product in a different setting, you can add the units you need without moving to a higher tier. And if you're not ready to subscribe just yet, our top-up packs are still available outside of subscription, so you can purchase resources whenever you need, just like you always have. Design and visualization are constantly evolving, so our offering will be too. We'll be releasing new resources and subscriber exclusives each week, along with brand new product categories, software support, and creator collaborations, so you can spend more time doing what you do best, designing. See how we can transform your visualization workflow today at Zune.
And I'm back. How was that? So I really wanted to show that off because I can't show it enough times. We paid a lot of money for it. We've spent a lot of time on it, put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, I want people to see it. You'll be seeing it on Instagram and Facebook a lot. So yeah, that's a little intro to what we've been doing. KeyShot 2025.1. So I've been working with Dries on the dev team on this. So I've been kind of, I guess, consulting or trialing this for a while. I went to Denmark in June or July, and that's when I first got the look in at the new tools. And now they've finally gone through enough revisions that it's in public beta. Dries said to me today that it's public, so I'm free to stream it. So for those of you who haven't seen it, this is KeyShot 2025.1. It looks pretty much the same as a lot of KeyShots before it, and that's absolutely fine. So we know our way around. But there are two really notable additions. So the main one, the hero one, is the new lighting system, or the new category of light, which is a planar light. So edit, add light, we'll go straight into it, is a planar light. And this is basically just a new type of light. It doesn't work like any of the other light. It's sort of a hybrid of an area light and a spotlight, and you can choose, you know, almost how much of each one it is. But with that, there are new positioning tools that come with it as well, which we'll look into in a moment, and that's what we're going to focus on stream tonight. So I've got some files that we can load up and then move it around. The second one, which I haven't looked at yet, is export mode. And from what I've heard, export mode is really good for augmented reality exports, and there's probably more that go in there as well. So for any of you that have had to export a model for augmented reality, it's a really weird landscape out there in AR. So you kind of export from KeyShot and then you open it in a viewer, and then you can tweak the materials in the viewer, and it kind of looks different in every viewer. It's a bit of a mess. So what KeyShot have done is brought in export mode, which allows you to preview the AR export in KeyShot. So you're not relying on other tools to see when you get there. You can do it all in here. If you've done an AR project, you will know how painful it is. So this is, for some people, a really good tool. And obviously, you know, in industrial design, product design engineering, that sort of thing, augmented reality models are really good for communication. So yeah, it's great that we've got that. They're the two big features. Yeah, I'm going to take you through most of the lighting tools tonight. Before we get going, I'm going to put music on. There we go, right on cue. You can just let me know in the chat, music or not, and volume, yay or nay. I'm not really listening to it myself, so it's more for you, for it to feel less dead airy. Okay, so we have a few files tonight. I've got two from Dan Valentine, who's kindly sent two of his shoe models. The color clogs, unfortunately, I don't have the textures. At least I couldn't, when I went for a quick look, I couldn't find them. And then we've got the Montclair shoe. We have the Danny chair, which is a personal favorite of mine. And then TP1 by Braun, which my colleague modeled for me today. So I am going to start off with, the shoe. It's curvy. Disclaimer, this is a beta. There might be crashes. It's not all ironed out yet. I'm running it in GPU mode. We just got to see this together. It might not work. Okay, so let's start off by, let's just knock the environment off. I'll do some brief setup here so we can have a good look at it. So standard stuff, product mode, global illumination, photographic mode. I'll do aces, resolution. That doesn't really matter for this, does it? In fact, I'll put a bit of environment brightness on just so we can see what's going on for now. Okay, so the new light is Shift+1. It brings up this weird menu, but it won't do. This is being fixed literally tomorrow, so you don't need to worry about that. And it will just go straight into the move tool. Now, that's the first thing to talk about, is kind of the move tool and the light positioning tool that go into this. So planar light is the new tool, and with planar light, you've always got the move tool. I'll open up geometry view so you can see my planar light in there. I haven't done it in this file before, so I don't know where it's going to go. There it is. It's just on the origin. So that is my planar light. Don't worry about it being on the origin. That's not really important with these lights. But you can do the move tool in here, and you can move it around just like any other geometry. But it also has this go to light positioning. You can access this through the move tool, or you can go tools. I haven't done it through this menu before, so if it's gone, yeah, there we go, light positioning. So you can do it through there as well, and then that activates the light positioning tool, which is here. So this has changed a lot from when I first saw this, but it's in a really clean state now. It's really good. So again, bear in mind there might be bugs. So essentially, what KeyShot have done is take a lot of the good bits of the HDRI editor and brought it into physical lighting. So one of the best features about the HDRI editor is the set highlight feature. This is now in here in this kind of hybrid area light spotlight. So in highlight mode, if I hold Control and left mouse click, I can set the highlight of this. I'm going to say area light, but it's not. It's this planar light. And you can see it there. I'm going to make the geometry view bigger so you can see this. You can see it there. So Control and left mouse button, you can even click and drag and move this around just like you would a HDRI pin, which is really, really interesting. And yeah, it's a great feature. But it doesn't just stop there. So they've also put in other modes to put this in. So normal mode will put the pin normal to the surface. So if I hold Control and left mouse button in normal mode, I think there's shortcuts to go between these as well. Target, yeah, H-N-T-O, there you go. So they've got shortcuts to get between these. In normal mode, N, puts it normal to the surface. So that'd be really handy if you're doing like a top-down light. You can just put it in normal mode, click on the surface, and it'll put it perfectly above that. You then have target mode, which keeps the position of the light the same, but changes the target. So if you look here at my light in the distance, you see how it's changing target? And if I have that selected, you can actually see the target changing. And you can see it changing. I haven't used this as an example. Maybe we'll try that today, but I haven't used this yet. And then last one is orbit, which is Control and left mouse button to move around and orbit it, which I actually have been using quite a bit in today's, because similar to like a HDRI pin, you position it with set highlight, but then you always want to nudge it a little bit. You always want to play around with it just that, you know, few degrees, or in this case, like a few centimeters. So I have been using orbit more than I expected. Yeah, you can also access orbit in any mode, as far as I'm aware, by holding Control and... It was working earlier. Does that not work? Maybe I got that wrong. I thought it was Control and middle scroll wheel clicking. Yeah. Well, that leads on to the next thing anyway. So whatever mode you choose, you can always adjust the distance from that point with Control and scroll. So again, I'll make this easy here. Control and scroll, you can bring it together. So easy. Okay. I'll try orbit. Yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, so you'd have to be in orbit mode. So Control and scroll moves the light further away and closer. And then, one step further, Control and Shift and scroll raises the power and drops the power. So without really leaving anything, just to show you the process again, I'll delete that planar light out. I can shift 1 on the keyboard. In this case, I need to click planar light, but you won't have to as far as I'm aware in the release. Highlight mode, Control and click and drag to position your highlight. So I can go on the top of this here. Then it's Control and scroll to move it closer. And then Control, Shift and scroll to make it brighter. So it really is, it's better than the HDRI editor, because with HDRIs you don't get that distance, and you don't even get shortcuts for power. So this is really, really nice. Not done yet though. There's more. So there is also a control for the width and the height of this, and the vertical and horizontal spread. So let's come onto this gizmo here. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit closer. So I'm going to go back into Move Tool, Light Positioning. I'm going to move it a little bit closer for now so we can see this. Okay. So here's the material. Planar light is a material. You can actually apply it to any geometry, but it'd be a bit weird. Area light still exists. Area light is the same as it always was. So if you bought in like a light bulb and you put an area light on it, it'll be exactly the same. That's why they've called it planar light, because it really does work like a plane. Area light, you can work on any piece of geometry. All regular color, power. You've got the light width, you've got the light height, and then you've got horizontal and vertical angle. Under advanced, you got the same stuff. So whether it's visible to camera, that's handy if you're going to put it in frame, and you can turn that off. And that is basically the extent of this tool. You can also add textures, so I can put a gradient on here. There we go. I'm just trying to. I was using gradients, but they're a little bit. I was finding it difficult. It seems like it's better to use image textures with this, which is what Drees has been using. But you can use a gradient and have it fade out. But maybe we'll come to that later. We're getting a bit in the weeds. Questions. So, when will this version be released? Full production. Is it start of March, maybe? Sorry if I'm getting that wrong. Anyone from KeyShot? Its code is freezed very soon, so it will be going to like marketing basically and moving into the next phase, instruction manuals and that stuff. But yeah, I would have thought within like a month, maybe something like that. Sometimes I cannot save my model to my asset library. What, Luis, you'll have to let me know if there's any errors that come with it. Is it because you're in GPU mode? Some older versions of KeyShot don't let you save to the library if you're in GPU mode. You have to change the CPU and then it'll let you save it. I think that's fixed in more recent ones. NVIDIA glitch. I am not sure. It was mentioned today, so I'm going to assume that's a no. I'm not sure. I haven't had any issues like that really. But yeah, I'm not. I can't really comment. Okay. Should we make a scene? Should we make a render? So you get to see this in practice. I'm going to just. Oh, I can leave it on, I suppose. So let's delete cameras. Probably shouldn't have done that. What is that? Ground illumination? No. Ground shadows? No. How's the music? I hear a piano, that's about all I hear. Right, so I'm concentrating a bit. Sorry, I will speak to you again. That's not it for the conversation. I wasn't planning that, but that could work. Oh, I'm moving the light. I'm just going to put a ground plane behind it, and one of the reasons I've been doing this quite a lot recently, normally I only used to do it on like renders which were more important where I'm putting more effort into it, actually doing like a physical studio setup. But because it's so easy with these lighting tools, I'll show you in a minute, how easy it is to light up the backdrop. It's kind of changed the dynamic a bit. Right, let's go through the process again. If anyone who missed it, Shift 1 on the keyboard. Click my planar light, okay. I'm going to put it in normal mode, hold control, left mouse click on the back. I'm going to hide the shoe while I do this. Let's just delete whatever's hidden there because I don't know what it is. Hide the shoe, left click on there, and then use control and scroll to move it closer to that point. I can bring the shoe back in now. Don't want this light visible to the camera. Maybe don't want the spread that big. So, notable things that are on the way, as far as I'm aware. Fall off is not done yet. So, if you're used to putting fall off on your spotlight, that's not there yet. But it will be. and in maybe not in this version, but in the next version. And then rounding corners potentially on the gizmo. So I have seen it, but it's just not here. So rounding the corners on the gizmo, I think, is coming. And yeah, I can't remember what else. But this is just the first iteration that we're going to be looking at in 2025.1. Like everything else, it's gonna grow and change. And I'm going to turn off my environment brightness completely because we don't need it. Okay. So that's kind of my setup that I've been doing a lot. So it's just one of these lights firing at a plane behind the product. I mean, even the bounce light of it's great. That is a bug. You can't select the ground plane. It just wants to select that light. So I have reported this. Like I said, it's not all fleshed out yet. Still got a bit of time. Bigger with that plane. Bigger with this. Leave that. Cool. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. Fire away some questions if you want to, or are you just here to see the tool work? Okay. This is where it needs to be a shortcut. Like, I just want to click a button and go into that light positioning tool. Move tool, light positioning. I've been working on new hotkeys for KeyShot as well. So I'm running, not on this computer at the moment, but on my work computer, I'm running a completely different hotkey setup. And it takes some getting used to, but it's really nice. So link the width and height, make that pin bigger. That's good. It's where I want to soften the edges a bit. Let's clip in the backdrop. Should I put the backdrop further away? GPU support on Apple Silicon, I don't think it's going to happen. KeyShot, most of the other rendering engines in GPU mode, they're built on optics. Optics is NVIDIA, and they literally make it. That's the framework for rendering. Apple and NVIDIA don't mix. There's like, the rivalry is unbelievably horrendous. So, unless you've been told by someone that GPU support is coming, I just would give up on it. It's just not going to happen. That bridge is burnt forever. So. Shift 1. Yeah, another point as well, you can jump into the move tool. I know I mentioned that at the start, but you don't just have to use light positioning tool. You can just use the move tool. So this is where I'd want to like do the move tool and move it down a little bit, just to push it down. I could use orbit, but orbit's just going to rotate it as well. Too far. Cool. She's not got much texture on it. It's got loads of shape, which is why it works really well for this example. But I don't know if I'm missing the files, but it doesn't have any texture like creases or anything on this. It looks a little bit perfect, doesn't it? Crazy design. Crazy design, Dan, if you're out there. Light manager. So yeah, you obviously get full control of your lights in here as well. Let's try adding a gradient onto this. So let's bring back that third light. Why did I rotate the camera and not the model? Because... Good question. You're not wrong doing it either way. But... as you add potentially more geometry into the scene, as you add more lights into the scene, if you've rotated that original model, it could throw off everything else. For example, I did a post... yesterday on Instagram with a graphics card exploding, and the graphics card is tilted. I knew immediately I wanted to tilt it, and I tilted the graphics card as opposed to tilting the camera, and it kind of made things a bit more annoying going forward, because even like if you think about the HDRI editor, now the HDRI editor, as you move around a ring, it's not moving around the graphics card. It's moving like off axis to the graphics card. Whereas here, my HDRI, if I wanted to use it, goes around a ring that way. So it just, to me, I've started going down camera twist. The one bad thing about camera twist is a bit of a nightmare to me. Like, I know you can't see my mouse, but this is so difficult to move. Yeah. Right. Well, that gradients works pretty well. Needs to be flipped. Very suspenseful music. That's all I can hear at the moment. It's enough. No, it was the right way around. Hmm. 10,000 lumens a lot. It's just not showing up on it, though, is it? Yeah. Let's try, see if there's anything in the texture library. So KeyShot are also going to put texture maps in the library, not environments, textures. We try that. What's on there? Linear gradient. Hmm. I don't know if anyone's seen from like my stories or anything, but I am actually at the pinkest setup right now. My mouse pad. My armrest, sorry, is a cloud. Probably not what you were expecting. It's kind of a vibe though. Right, let's see how that looks from here. Okay, it is working. Yeah, it works better working like that. I think I just need to juice up the power a bit though. Yeah, you're going into crazy lumen numbers now. 20,000? 200,000? The gradient tapering it down. Anyway, it works quite well. So, not visible to the camera. This is where I wish I had fall off, because I'm looking for that kind of vignette on the backdrop. I'm just not getting it here. Are we in orthographic? We are in orthographic as well. So what else could we do with this? If we weren't doing these lights, where's the backdrop? Why doesn't KeyShot develop a viewport mode with minimal CPU and GPU usage? Kind of does. Geometry view. Admittedly, you can't go around the camera in geometry view, which would be good. But kind of is there. Performance mode as well. Oh, I've changed my shortcuts. Wait, have I? Yes. Yes, I'm not on my work shortcuts. See, I told you it'd throw me off. Performance mode. Like, it's rapid. Shift 1. Let's use this time the orbit. So I'm going to put it there, move it really close, orbit, and then move it round to the bottom. And I might move tool it to go back under there. We were working on a scene earlier this week, and it was sort of similar to this. Very uplit. What happens if I... Oh, it does work. You're like Zen music now, this is crazy. What are you listening to? What am I listening to? No. I'm not saying anything. Okay, so let's not have so much vertical spread. Fire up at the shoe. Again, we need some fall off or something, don't we? That's good though. I think if this was, it's always harder to light glossy objects. I've talked about this before, but as you start to make this more matte and maybe less reflective, not changing the design. We'll go back to gloss, but yes, quite a difficult study. There you go. We'll leave that with the shoe. I don't know which one you prefer. That silhouette looks great. Maybe we should just leave it at the silhouette. Oh, that looks pretty good. That's probably how I'd do it. The other thing you can do as well, or try it on the next one. Let's try it on the next one. I'm going to leave that there. Let's save and let's open up the next one. So there's... This music is distracting me. It must be distracting you. Really popular in product photography at the moment is, you know, trailing a beam of light over the item. Really not revealing too much detail at all. I've used it in a promo that I was doing today. You see it everywhere on Instagram, Behance. Very popular at the moment. So I guess we'll try and replicate that. This is the Danny chair. I don't want to butcher the designer's names, but I'm going to try it. Bear with. I'm going to give credits. here we go. Shout out. So Klinger Boarding, did I get it right? And they kindly sent us their Danny chair, and I've been using it a lot in kind of KeyShot testing because it's such a lovely model. It's all surfaced, so really good up close, and just the curves and the fabric, it's just, yeah, it's a bit of a joy to render. It already looks really good here. This is all HDRI, by the way, so you could select a hybrid HDRI lighting, so HDRI just for the backdrop, which this pin just gives a little bit of bounce lighting, which is really nice. But then you could use these new tools to stream light over it. This is going to look great because honestly, there's no bad way to photograph this thing. Do I go twist or not? What other angles have we got? No, I'm going to go back. Let's go back to where we were. Let's try that. Can you give advice about computers? I'm an industrial design student and I can't decide which computer should I buy. You're talking about laptops or desktops? If you can clarify that in the chat, I will let you know. Pretty clued up on laptops at the moment because I've been in the market myself. So if you are looking for a laptop, let me know. Right, so it's all fine. I'm just going to move this around a bit smaller. Laptops, I see you. I'll get to it in a moment. So just to caveat that, or not to caveat, just to kind of say why I've got that HDRI pin. If you haven't seen me use this method before, black HDRI, so black background, pin behind it, big pin, casting light onto the edge of the model. It looks like you've got a backdrop scoop behind it. The benefit of doing it, and we use it all the time, is that you get that bleed of light going around the side, which is just beautiful. If you don't have that, the product will never sit on the color backdrop. So that is the easiest way to just get it tying in with the backdrop. And look at this. This is like marketing grade render. It's for one HDRI pin. Right, shift one. We've been through this process enough now. Planar light. This time I'm going to use normal mode. I'm going to normal mode it on there. Bring it quite close. And then we're going to need geometry view, aren't we? So I'll put it in orbit mode. Geometry view. Okay, and then bring down one of the beams. So that goes that way. Again, I'd love it to have fall off, but it's okay. We can deal with it. So we've got a beam set up now, and then we can just go back into our light positioning tool and start to move that beam around. Try and find somewhere. I've maybe picked the wrong product here to do it on, but I wonder what it'd look like if I just do the beam. Oh, that's a bit sharp. It'd look like closer. Bad. I picked the wrong angle to do this. Orbit mode. I'm going to get to you with the laptop recommendations. Just trying to focus a moment. That looks alright. Not really what I was going for, but. So I'm using orbit mode at the moment. One request I've made is for like a twist I'd love a twist shortcut to spin the light, because obviously this beam is only going in one direction. I've got to jump out of the orbit to do this. I'm feeling it's going to crash as well doing this, because... it just feels like it is going to... Let's try and move Thor in it as well, see if we can find anything interesting. It's kind of nice. Bloom. Bloom. There we go. Sold. Joking. Bit of bloom. Isn't it? It's weird putting the brightness behind it, silhouette in the arm. I wouldn't do this professionally, but... oh, I can't grab it. So, yeah, what do we prefer? Might try it again in a different scene, but... maybe we're best just going on the arm like that. A little bit lower. Just a little clip of the chair. I'm gonna go with that. Sod it. We're just playing. Laptop recommendations. Depends entirely what you're after and how you're gonna use it. The best, like objectively the best laptops are MacBook Pros, but it's not right for everyone. It's definitely not right for me. I haven't bought one, and a lot of CAD software, KeyShot, it's not the choice. So there's so many applications. Yeah, get a MacBook Pro if you can afford it, but I can pick out so many examples where you shouldn't get a MacBook Pro as well. I'm going Windows. Definitely. Asus have some really nice options. I didn't know whether I wanted something like a 2-in-1 as a change of pace. So the Asus have the PX, I think it's the PX13, which is a 2-in-1 with an RTX graphics card. Really small 13-inch thing with an RTX graphics card. So you plug it in, hook it up to KeyShot, you're gonna get good results. So that's interesting. The other laptop on Asus's range that I was looking at was the S15. 15. The S15 doesn't have a graphics card. Well, it's only got integrated graphics. So the reason I am interested in that is because I use remote desktop a lot. So I've got a desktop that I can just remote into. So I use that quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, I've got a 3090 in my work desktop. So why not just use that? Already got a good internet connection is normally the caveat with remote desktop thing. What are the other laptops? Go on. What are you looking for? I don't know your name, sorry. What are you looking for? I'm just going to keep that option there and try a different one. Oh yeah, it doesn't show up when you duplicate, does it? It works, it just doesn't, the gizmo doesn't show up. There we go. Yeah, it's updating. Wait, which one was I on then? Ay. Butchering it. Let's see what we've got. Okay, let's go with this. Keep on going from here. Going to call this 1. I'm just going to set up a studio just so I can move on and have a little go at another angle of this. So that's light number 1. Danny chair, I can delete that light, and this can also be called 1. Camera can be called camera 1, fine. Let's try something else. Let's try one more different angle with this. Just on the other side. Let's try that. 2, new model set. New model set. Bring it forward. Bring it 2. How would you add natural color lighting in this example? What do you mean? Any more? I've just been rendering white light during this, but of course you could do sunlight. We've been doing stuff, a lot of stuff internally, which is like naturally lit. I think that's actually in the right place already. That looks good. If one, like that. Target there, and then bring in. It's not that way, is it? It's that way. Target there. Yeah, I find the orbit tool really difficult to work with. I think Drees mentioned that you can also flip it. Let's have a look. I've not looked at this before, so... bear with on this bit. I'm going into the settings for the first time. Where was it? Let's get rid of this. Invert light position. I see it. Invert it. I'll try and get used to it this way. I think you need geometry view open as well when you're doing this. Ah, that's... Can I click O on the keyboard for geometry view or put it in orbit mode? Because you need to be able to see where the lights are. Positional move tool. Light positioning. There we go. Orbit. Just gonna make it bigger and softer. Further away. Quite a nice line to cut over. Or right behind it. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot at the moment. It's lighting concentration. That's nice. Bigger. Brighter. It's just a nice object to light, isn't it? It's so easy when you've got a good product to photograph. That's why the design is so important. Too bloomy. I'm going to leave it there. Let's save it as a studio and AB, the two of them. That is nice. Different. Everyone likes a bit of drama, don't they? Everyone likes a bit of contrast. Let's save that. Let's go for the last one. So let's look at the Danny chair. Last up, we have the TP1. The reason I left it till last is because this is the least curvy, but it's all going to be about detail shots in this. So I'm probably just going to go and set up some potentially orthographic cameras looking around this, and then set up some lighting to go with it. That is a nice corner. Is it going to be easier doing this flat? Probably. Is it supposed to go flat? Let's keep it on. Orthographic? Ooh. We'll try it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Should we do it with geometry? Should we do it on a scoop? I need to remember my shortcuts. That saved a screenshot. Does anyone have any questions or requests for the last one? Coloured lighting? Probably picked the wrong product to do it on. We can have a look at colour in this. We'll have a look at some colour. I haven't been doing too much colour other than making it a bit warmer. I will show you... well, you look at the thumbnail for YouTube is... the thumbnail for this YouTube video is one of the shots I was working on today. The 5090 promo, this is also rendered in the latest version of KeyShot. Only one of these lights is actually the planar light. Everything on here is the new light. More or less the same setup as the shoe that I did at the start, with a big plane behind it, and then obviously like, yeah, dramatic lights. It took me a while to dial that in though, to be honest. Yeah, I'm getting to grips with it. Also this one, which is going to be out soon, probably next week. This is AI upscaled, so the content is about AI upscaling. So I took a 3D model of bread and upscaled that and did this kind of composition of slicing through it. A bit of a weird one, but that's also all lit by this new method, so it gives really good results. Make you really nice light around it. I can't scale this down, can I? Yes. Arrows, come on, work with me. Right. Cool. Done. Done. We have a backdrop scoop. Beige backdrop scoop. Let's add the first light in. Getting used to this now. Shift 1. Planar light. Highlight mode? No, normal mode. Got it wrong. Normal mode. Move it close. Image. Photographic. Aces. Bit of contrast. I think that looks okay. Maybe let's make that light a bit bigger. Turn off the environment lighting. Oof! Good lord. Could look good. I've not rendered with this product yet, so I don't really know what it's all about. Joe modeled it over the past couple of days. It was really good. Oh, broke it. Oh, get your brain together. What are you doing? Right, highlight, yes. Orbit, yes. Move it. I mean, that's a pretty nice position there. I wish it was fading out a bit towards the corner. Don't know if... Oh, that's weird lighting position. So like around there. The normal mode, by the way, yeah. So I could just put normal on there and it would shine down perfectly on top of that, which is actually quite helpful. Normal on that side. You do have left, right, top, left presets as well, which is really handy. Just to get you going, I think you're always going to refine it a little bit. Oh, that's nice. That's nice around that. It's alright, isn't it? It's a bit bright on that corner. Bloom! Always bloom. Always bloom. There you go, crank it up. Knock it down. Look at this. This is naughty. I like this shade here. That green. Okay. Holding shift. I should be holding... Tell you what, it's not bad, is it? Not bad for 10 minutes in the office. Don't let clients see what we're doing here. Make them think this took 4 days. Remember, folks. This didn't take 10 minutes. If you're a client of mine, this is 4 hours work. It is quite helpful having the model completely textured, though. What's the difference do you get with aces? Go over to Will Gibbons' channel after this video and let him describe. He's got a video on it. Oh, look at the wide shot as well. Good lord. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Look at this. So focused on the details, I need to go back to the wide shot. Lord. I really do this for a living. That does look good though, doesn't it? We're even in product mode. We are in product mode. Bit more global illumination, yeah. Now I wish I didn't have that streak on here. Wish I didn't have that streak. Can we occlude it? We can occlude it. Oh, it's wonderful. Do we like it cutting across like that? Ugh. I won't fall off. Oh, there's the fall off. So you can use gradients. You can use gradients. Fine. The state of this is unbelievable. I didn't plan this render, by the way. It's, as Bob Ross would call, a happy accident. Bit of jazz music on in the background, bit of blues, unbelievable. Just using that orbit to move it round a wee bit. I'm also going to change the target and put the target on the model so that when I orbit. No. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm not getting any illumination on the dial over here though, so let's try that. Normal, click, go close. If we could get it to like cut across it. No, I think let's just go for illumination. It's so nice to work with though. It does just feel fluid and it's only going to get better. Like this is how it's launching and I'm already used to it. Like I haven't actually put that much time into this. I still have to remember that Control Shift is power. When you do remember. I really like that very well, isn't it? Whoa. Ah, I've reset it. Ay, ay, ay. It's fine. I don't know if it's just the material on here is just a little bit. Can I fake it? Just blown out wherever it goes. That is a nice shot though. Like regardless of that. I'm very happy with that. Yeah. Yeah, just going back to the Aces question. Whoa! Aces. Like all of these are just ways of converting what KeyShot actually renders the pixels you see on screen. That's what they're doing. It's not changing the render settings at all. It's just using a different curve, essentially, to transform that image into the pixels that you see. In my work, typically, I'm not editing today, but I will typically go lower contrast. I will drop back the contrast and then bring the contrast back in post. ACES is a whole color workflow, which is something that Will Gibbons has talked about and done a really in-depth video and loads of research that goes into it. It's why you should go and listen to him and not me, because he actually does know what goes into it. But you're probably not going to benefit that much from it. It's just the latest nice thing. It does give you supposedly better color accuracy and more natural colors. So yeah, maybe. Maybe it's worth it. Ooh, good. 80. See, we're way over. Maybe no depth of field. Oh, this is where orthographic. It just ends up looking cartoony. I can always drop the exposure down a bit. On the bloom. Just looks a bit overcooked at the back, which is something I can fix. So I'll do a detail shot. I'll do these 2 shots and then I'll... The time we're on 8:45. Yeah. Will I make a tutorial on post-production in Lightroom? Yes. Yes, it is actually on my list, to be honest. Kid you not, folks. It is like the most important thing. Okay, no, not the most important thing, because you can't save a bad render in Lightroom, but it's so important. Like, it's so important. Like, some of the renders that we do don't come alive until they get into the edit. Sometimes I can see that they're going to be good, and I look at them as they're being put together. I'm like, I can't wait to edit this. I know it's going to edit well. But it's so important to edit your renders. So let's go detail. I'll rename it. So let's set up some studios. Good tool to work with though, isn't it? I hope after today, go and download the beta. If you're not on the program, I don't know how it works now, whether you have to sign up, I can't remember, but by all means apply. Give feedback to the team. There are bugs to work out. So yeah, go and test it. I think this works a little bit better lighter, less saturated. That's nice. So that's shot 1, and then shot 2, detail shot, we need to do a different lighting setup. So is it a bad idea to duplicate the main lights? Let's see. The lights aren't great for this shot, are they? Wait, where did that all come from? What was lighting up that before? What on earth is doing that? that one. Are you looking to create affinity photo presets for the Zune? What's affinity? I've heard of it. What's affinity? Maybe I'll make it. Probably not a good sign that I haven't heard of it though. Oh, it's completely different, isn't it? So I mean, yeah. We're in bug land now. I'm going to start again with this. If you just have a look, I've duplicated the model set, but the detail one looks completely different to the main one. So yeah, I did think it was probably a bit risky duplicating the model set. It's okay though. We'll just do a couple of lights and then we'll call it a day. So for the last time today, shift 1, planar light, highlight mode, control and scroll, bring it nice and close, make it smaller. That'll probably do, won't it? We'll just call it a day. One pin wonder. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? What's everyone's consensus? I don't know how many of you have been around for the whole thing. What's your consensus on the new tools? I'm sure someone from KeyShot will be watching at some point. They'll be keen to see the chat. I'm just going to add this to the studio. We've done some good renders tonight, and I haven't prepped any of this before. It's been easy, and we haven't actually haven't had any crashes. I'm getting used to the tool already. That's probably the best render of the day. That works really well. All done with a pink keyboard. It's an alternative to Adobe Photoshop. Ah, that's why I've heard of it. Yes. That's a good question, actually. I'd have to poll people to know how many people are actually using it, right? So, as much as I'd love to support it just for supporting it, if we're going to put time into making presets or converting our presets over, you know, even with we've just done our first Blender scenes, which is, we've done it just because obviously there's a lot of Blender users out there, but we really don't know. We haven't polled our audience. We don't know how many people in our audience use Blender. So, you know, I'm game to chance it, but I don't think there's probably much of a return for us making Affinity presets. Yeah. We've got a lot more on our to-do list, which is a bit more important. I use physical lights pretty often. It's good to have this level of control. Yeah, Zach, it's amazing. It's good. It's a really good tool, and you're gonna love it. Yeah, I think it. How much has it changed the game is the big debate around this. I've used a HDRI editor for most work, most shots, really. Like most client projects, when I think back to it, I'm using a HDRI editor. It gets you almost there, and in the shots where you need to go that little bit further, when you just need that little bit more realism, obviously shots like this you can't do in the HDR editor. You can't cast these beams because it just wouldn't work. But this does kind of change it, and these look great. Physical lights just have that quality to them. It's realism, basically, because they're directional. They're directional and basically volumetric, right? A HDRI pin is only directional. It's not volumetric. It can't cast like that. It just casts like this in one direction. So Yeah, I think this is a game changer, but it all depends on people actually using it. So good coverage at the start, good tutorials, people getting used to the hotkeys. They might change around, but you spend a few hours with it, you get comfortable, then this is a really nice way to work. And yeah, and there probably will be bugs, but that's the setup from the outside in. Yeah, so there's the detail shot if anyone didn't see it. Yeah, appreciate the feedback. I'm doing a lot more content now. Scenes are being produced without me, which is good. So we have other artists, we have other people involved making scenes for Viziune. What you've got to understand is Vizione's a business. Like, someone's still got to run it, a business, and that takes a lot of time. Honestly, the subscription model was, I think I put in my Instagram post, was like over a year in the making, and the website development was like 10 months or something like that, and so much energy went into that. So that took away from everything. It took away from production, it took away from tutorials. You know, I've got five new short tutorials in the mix, and we're aiming for 2 a week to go live, and we'll probably be able to go over that, and then probably a couple of live streams a week. So I'm really excited to get back into this. But yeah, got to make sure business is functioning first, and got to make sure there's a future for Viziune, because ultimately every creator has to kind of monetize somehow, whether that's with sponsorships, whether that's with ad revenue. People need KeyShot resources, that's my angle. So I do have to take a fair bit of time to do that, but hopefully that's just going to decrease over the next year and can do a lot more content, because I really do enjoy doing this. I'd love to start getting back into long form YouTube content, like VODs, not live streams as well. But they take up so much time to put together and edit, whereas doing a YouTube short, I can script it before I even record it. Again, just guys, spend so much time in KeyShot, I know I can script it and just imagine what buttons to click, and can script a video and come up with an example in my head and record it pretty quickly. So between that and live streams, that's probably what I'm going to be doing for the next year, and then I'll hopefully do some long form content. Yeah, that looks so good, doesn't it? That metal here and the leather. Leather by Viziune. I didn't put this model together, so I didn't know that. There we go. Leather looks great. Leather by Viziune. Unbelievable. Renz, your question. On the site, when it says all assets, does that include the textures as well as the scenes? On site, when it says all assets, does that include the textures as well as the scenes? I don't know what that means. Does that mean do you get everything with the scenes? If that's your question, do you get everything when you buy a scene file? The answer is yes. You get everything. Everything you see. But if there's a product in there, just look at the disclaimer. If there's a product in the scene, we often take the product out because we don't own the models. Plus, you don't really need that in there. God, look at the front shot. Ugh. Should we just photograph this all night? Good looking product, isn't it? Yeah, if anyone's interested, of course I'm going to plug Viziune. We put so much time and effort into making resources. It's not right for everyone. I'm a maker. I love making stuff. But even, you know, as a professional, we have subscriptions to other services. There's stuff we don't make. So someone's got to make resources. And yeah, I'm happy to be flying the flag for KeyShot, because we're pretty much the only ones. So what is that light doing? Do that one. Our new scenes that are coming out are really strong. Again, going back to what I was just saying about how much oxygen this has took out of the room. As soon as we got out of the project and slept, like, for a few nights, because I was exhausted, we're back to creating, and some of the new resources are incredible. We're launching a bathroom scene which we kind of teased tonight. Amazing. It's the best looking interior I've seen in KeyShot. Period. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, I didn't make it. It just looks great. So, oh, that's that one. Which one's which? Yeah. Do you want to model a bathroom, or do you want to go and buy a KeyShot scene? If you do want to buy KeyShot scenes, subscribe. It's so cheap now. We've had lots of discussions with customers, and the question is, why subscription model? It's not to make more money. It's to make sure that we can predict how much money we're going to make going forward. So it's not sporadic bursts. It's leveling it out a little bit more. When you level it out a bit more, you can invest it a bit more safely. We can bring on new staff. We're hiring at the moment. So that's why we've done a subscription model. It's not to make more money. It's to have recurring revenue. And that's why a lot of companies do it as well. It's also so we can do enterprise plans. Okay, so we've got team plans now, which are really good. If you work at a company and you use KeyShot, nudge them about an enterprise plan, especially if there's more than one of you there. We'll do custom plans for you. We have a team account, so all of your team can literally access Visioon using the same kind of, well, not the same account, different accounts, but using the same shared team. It's really smart. It's really nice. Shared downloads, shared units. It's really slick. And then the last option was saving you money. So if you want to subscribe, you can get up to 50% discount on individual plans. Like half price it was before. You know, if you're someone that did spend a lot with us, it's now half price. And if you didn't spend a lot with us before, it's the same price that it was. I saw a question of, is this leather UV matte? It is. Yeah, it is. This one needs a different image style because it's slightly darker. Well, I suppose it's about the same as that front shot, isn't it? Oh, it's all gone wrong. That's it. Yeah, let's undo that. I haven't got enough ramp to cover it. What's the process of creating all your unique textures on the site? Well, what's the process? So, it depends on the resource, really. We mood board first, look for inspiration. We design. If it's interiors, Joe, who does all of our interiors, will use references, Mid-Journey, will sketch out floor plans in Fusion, and then either, depending on the complexity, we'll model them in-house or outsource them to another 3D artist. And then we configure them in KeyShot and sell them. I've made that sound really easy. Yeah, I'm just going to pull up a file. If it's studio scenes, we do it mostly in-house. We do have 3D artists that work with us on studios, but that's less frequent. We've done most of the studios in-house. Decorations, we don't do too much. If we do element packs, so not sure if anyone has seen our element packs. They're really good, though. I might as well show you an element pack in here to have the whole library pretty handily. So, the element packs, for example, we have... they're not called elements, are they? Not in here. Probably not. So we have driftwood. Yeah, so if I wanted to put this product on a piece of driftwood, I could drag that in. And the elements are supposed to be for pro users. These have all been outsourced. I don't think we've made some fabric simulations in-house, but I don't think we've done, most of our element packs have been outsourced. But yeah, if you want to add driftwood to your render, if we were feeling like driftwood in the background of this, just to for the sake of adding driftwood. There we go. These are mostly outsourced, so they're either simulated or that is 3D scan. That is 3D scanned driftwood from Bulgaria. Not even joking. Why? Because it's cool. Really good for product shots. Put a perfume bottle on that. Put a shoe on that. It's great. Can we put the Braun radio on it? Will this look terrible? Probably. I'm going to do it anyway. Is there a spot it would naturally rest? Maybe it would be a bit wonky. That's what we do here. We go off-piste. We find new things. Has anyone used driftwood in Braun product photography before? Probably. Maybe not sat on there. Maybe sat on there was a bridge too far. A piece of driftwood too far. Dare I use settle? Should we save this first and then I'll use settle? I'm gonna save it. Settle. Will this fall on the driftwood? Oh god. CPU's just spooled up. Will you be able to replay this video? I think so. Yeah. I think you will. If you've missed a bit of it, we've gone all the way from introducing this tool and we've done 3 different products. So we started off with a shoe, we then did a desk chair, and now we're doing a radio. Whatever this is. Speaker. If it's gone laggy, that's my CPU. It is ramped up. This was a terrible idea. Do I use 3D Paint? No. I do not. I have 2 tutorials in the works that do use 3D Paint though, so maybe that will change. I'm doing pick stitching in 3D Paint where you can literally draw stitching. And I'm doing graffiti where you can spray paint on graffiti. No! Oh, no. The comedic effect of that falling off. Ah, painful. Ah, no. There you go. There's your final render. There's your final image. It still looks good though. It still looks good. Ah, maybe if we flip it round. The music is sad. Let's go back before we lifted it on the driftwood. To answer more questions on how we make stuff, to let you in on that before we sign off. Yes, that's our element packs we outsource. What else do we make? Let's go on the website because I cannot remember. It is late in the day. We make studio scenes, we do mostly in-house. Interiors, we mix in-house and outsource. Element packs are mostly outsourced. Here are our element packs. So it rocks, hands. Fabric we did in-house. Everything else outsourced. These are water simulations made by a German 3D artist. Because why not? They're great. You can put them around your objects. And then we also make backplates. These are all done in-house, and I'm probably going to do some content around backplates because these are like actually unbelievably powerful if you find the right one for your product. That's the sad thing about backplates. You're limited. You can only photograph it from that angle, and you are stuck with what's there. You can add more stuff. Maybe you can Photoshop stuff, but in some cases, these can be so good. I'm interested to see how he like put in the new lights in a backplate could work. But like these macro ones, if you can find a product to go in that, you know, if you were working with some stone and put it in there, yeah, it can work really well. So yeah, they're all made in-house. That's about it really. All materials are a mix as well. Procedural materials are all done in-house. PBR materials are outsourced. So if you look at something like procedural wood pack was done in-house. The worn metals were outsourced, so these are all PBR, and then we hooked them up in KeyShot. Yes. I just closed down the music. Well, that brings a very unnatural, abrupt end. I'm going to render these out. I'm going to put them on Instagram or the forum so you can take a look. That is the lighting tools in 2025.1. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for choosing this over Severance or Married at First Sight Australia or Wicked, whatever you've been watching. And yeah, thank you for joining, and I will see you whenever I do the next stream. Good night. Thank you, folks.